How many days have you been here?
Days? I've been here about 14 years.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2021 thriller As a Prelude to Fear, a film that is directed by Steph DeMilo and it stars Frances McGee, Laura Lemon, Lucy Drive and Jamie Langlands. Now this film focuses on Eve, played by Laura Lemon, who is a talented musician who thinks she's going to audition for someone who is going to help progress her career. Unfortunately, she is abducted, kidnapped by the Pied Piper, who is a renowned kidnapper and killer of girls. It is up to her boyfriend, Jamie Harris, played by Jamie Langlands, to work with the police and on his own to try and track her down, but also for the police and DCS Bambrook in particular, played by Frances McGee, to try and link together who is this Pied Piper. He's got his own suspicions, he's just not able to prove it. So it's kind of a race against time to try and find this Eve before the Pied Piper has his wicked way with her. Right, what are my thoughts on As a Prelude to Fear? Well, this is essentially, it's a low budget UK based thriller. And strangely, it actually, as the production values strangely improve as the film goes on. I don't know if they got a better budget after they started filming or what, but for example, early in the film you see a lot of office scenes with Frances McGee's character as DCS Bambrook talking to one officer in particular, and it just looks like a normal bog standard office. He even holds an interview in there with who he suspects to be the Pied Piper. So it feels very low budget at that point, and then later in the film it's like his office has changed and there's a backdrop and there's a few clips of like what looks like up in a police station, police cars outside it and things like that. So it adds to the believability a little bit more further in the film, and you obviously get people dressed up as police officers and all that kind of stuff. So the production values seem to improve as the film goes on, which was pleasing to see. So I know it's always difficult when you do a low budget film in regards to, you know, trying to put real quality up on the screen, but I do appreciate when low budget films do try and add to the believability factor, and they did make that attempt after a few early errors in the film. The performances here are actually all pretty decent. It was a smart move for Frances McGee to be in the film, and that name might not sound familiar, but his face certainly will. He's been in an awful lot of like films. He's been in Game of Thrones, he's been in Justice League, he's done quite a few things. He's like a character actor, so he's got a very recognisable face, and he kind of leads like the police side of things. And you've got Laura Lemon, who plays Eve, who plays like this kidnapped girl who's been like held against her will in like this underground facility with some other girls. And much of her she's quite feisty and she keeps fighting back against this Pied Piper character. And it does the usual type of stuff here, this film. It'll give you classic like red herrings. I mean, the whole film shows you the prime suspect, and it is for you to figure out if this is the guy. Is this the guy? So it kind of is one of those films that presents you one thing and shows you another, but it's not massively hard to figure out what's going on as the film progresses on, but it was quite a nice surprise at the end. I didn't fully expect how the film turned out, so you can only really appreciate it when any film does that, regardless of the budget here. So the film is actually full of some fairly decent performances here by everybody. There's a couple of performances by some of the lower level characters that I suppose are not up to the standard of the others, but they're not on screen for long, so it doesn't really drag the film down or anything. So for the most part, it's actually quite watchable, and it leans on when the film starts, it's based on true events. Now, I don't know if that means the film was actually based on true events. I think it's more a case of the film is trying to shine a light on things like modern day slavery and the amount of people that go missing, not just in the UK but across the world. So yeah, plaudits for trying to do that. It's trying to shine a light on that as well, so there's a message in there. I think something else that the film does right as well is some characters in the film do what you expect them to do. For example, the boyfriend whose girlfriend goes missing, Eve, he's doing everything in his power to try and find her because he's getting no luck with the police, really. So he's going and speaking to relatives of past girls that have gone missing. He's going to the village where she went missing. He even goes to see the guy he suspects to be the person that's abducted her. So, which is kind of thing that most people would do in that scenario. And while the film does have things, cliches, like the kidnapper has got like this altered freaky voice and deep breathing, it's all very cliched, but it's still quite effective, undeniably effective, and it works for the film. I think the one glaring thing that did stand out to me, there was a number of girls down in this basement, another 2 girls I believe, and one of them had been there for 14 years, and she just seemed a little bit too chirpy to me to say she's been there for 14 years, but I'm kind of nitpicking a bit, so I'm actually going to give this one a 5 out of 10. It's actually a fairly decent watch. It's some decent clever writing going on here, and it does keep you guessing for the most part. So yes, it's low budget, but there's some decent attempt going in here. So I hope you found this review useful, everybody. Thank you very much for watching.